Okay, hello. So, I'm just going to do a quick breakdown. This is my Sorcerer Air Savant life. I'm going to try to keep this brief because I know that these tend to be rambling things, and I don't script them out, which I probably should, but I'm not going to. So we're going to drop down here. We're taking a dramatic look at House Kenneth. And so this is actually my first kick at the can doing full caster life from start to finish, from 1 to 30, and it was interesting. I don't know why I decided now was the time, but I guess I'm doing my Tiefling life, so that makes a good choice as any. I went with the Air Savant because why not? And I think fire is done. I think Storm Tom covered that pretty well, so we're not gonna delve too deeply into that. I think fire is kind of a known quantity at this point, but I wanted to see if I could make this work with something that wasn't as purely obvious as fire, which has all those fantastic synergies. So it turned out that it was great. And one of the reasons why this is great, and I apologize that you're probably not going to be able to see this all that terribly well, but I'll edit that in later, is that we have a lot of amazing stuff going on in the Eldritch Knight tree. So I have all 5 cores here. So that gets me the Eldritch Strike, the Spell Sword, View the Blade, Subtle Force again, and then Subtle Force 2. So all these cores, and I believe each one of these is getting me gives me plus 10 maximum hit points. So that's 50 hit points right off the top right there. And then this is getting my double strike. So that doesn't really matter very much, but this is plus 10 universal spell power, plus 10 universal spell power, plus 10 universal spell power. So there's 30 spell power right there. Arcane Siphon, I took 3 ranks of this. Early on, this was great because this is like a free action boost to gain plus 30 universal spell power for 20 seconds. So you just keep smacking this down and over and over again when you're in close, because early on you're always going to be stuck in close to your mobs. Improved mage armor. This is great because once you get armor, then you have the ability to this actually gives you a plus an exceptional bonus to your total armor class, and then improved shield. And this actually improves your physical resistance rating when you cast it, and there's a reason why we did that. I took this Arcane Barrier. Normally I wouldn't, but I thought I'd give it a try. When your hit points drop below 50% of maximum, you're immediately protected by an Arcane Barrier that reduces all incoming damage by 25% for the next 20 seconds. It can only trigger every 90 seconds. So basically this just casts Radiant Force Field on you every time you hit 50%. I called this my safety bubble. Every time I saw that go off, I knew that I was letting my hit points get too low and I would heal myself. Arcane Boost Spell Power. So this is the one and only action boost you get out of any of these caster trees. So that's a plus 30 action boost bonus to universal spell power. Some points of charisma. This is what the real key here was. Armored Arcana. Passive, you gain proficiency in medium armor and no longer suffer arcane spell failure from light armor, medium armor, or mithril body. That's clutch. And then this is the big one, is the Knight's Transformation. While this is turned on, your base attack bonus equals your character level. When you successfully hit with Eldritch Strike, you gain Night Strike plus 30 universal spell power and plus 3 spell critical damage for 30 seconds. So again, that's giving you another source of like boosting your universal spell power, which is amazing. But the real reason I love this is because they uncrippled it. So now all your spells have full range while you're in Eldritch Knight stance. As you can see here, I am in my Eldritch Knight stance. And so I have full range on all my spells. It used to be everything was limited to touch range. It was a gimpy, horrible mechanic, but they got rid of it when they got rid of Epic Defensive Fighting, and that has entirely enabled this build to happen. And just to round it off, I got some more hit points, and one point in here, I think I needed that to make a break point. So this is the real clutch thing. I can run in this, and because it's making my base attack bonus equal to my character level, that means that I now get the maximum amount of MRR and PRR. Right now it's showing 103 and 50, but when I'm actually in Reaper, it's up at like 145-ish, so that's pretty great. So that makes that happen. And then the rest of this is self-explanatory. It is just a standard Air Savant build, so I have all the cores here, including the Element Apotheosis. I turned it off simply because I just wanted you to be able to see what a fantastic job I did on my cosmetics. I really need you to appreciate that. Let's just have a look just real quick. Everything matches. I'm very pleased with myself about that. Anyway, so Air Savant, this is giving me a boatload of electric spell power. So then we take the Shock and Grass SLA because that gets us to the Electric Loop SLA, which gets us the Lightning Bolt SLA, all the criticals, Alternating Current. Whenever you cast an electric or sonic damage spell, you have a 30% chance to gain 3 temporary spell points. This is one of the reasons, excuse me, electrocution. Whenever you cast an electric or sonic damage spell, you get +5 to your electric and sonic spell power for 6 seconds. This stacks up to 5 times. What kind of gets glossed over, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, is because electric is the only savant that's actually giving you 2 elements. It's giving you electric, but it's also giving you sonic, which actually kind of gets glossed over for, I don't know why. I know Strim Tom talks about it all the time, but like it doesn't really go into the fact that like practically nothing resists sonic, and the few things that do, you can probably light up with electric. So because it's giving you sonic and electric spell power, because these are giving you both sonic and electric crit, I believe these are only giving you, oh no, they're giving you electric and sonic spell power. So you're getting all of this as sonic and electric spell power. You could literally do this as a sonic savant and would not be losing out on much. The only downside would be that there's sweet F all for sonic spells in the game, but that's a different argument. Anyway, so 1 with the storm, +10 bonus to your electric resistance. I think I just needed this for a break point. Pierce electric resistance. Your electric and sonic damage spells now bypass 15 points of your target's resistance to those damage types, if any, so you definitely want to be bypassing damage. This is crucial at level 12. Awaken elemental weakness. You're able to curse an enemy inflicting electric damage they take by 15%. If the target is resistant or immune to electric attack, it negates that protection instead. So this basically takes away electric resistance. If you're fighting a boss, it increases. If they're not immune, it increases it. But if they're completely immune, this will take it away. And then evocation bonus, just because why not? And then of course the core allows you to completely bypass electric altogether whenever you cast an electric spell. So this is huge. This is where all your DPS is coming from. And then lastly, we sneak over here. I drag these over, but it's very difficult. It gets a little touchy about this. We are in the Feydark illusionist tree. Familiar fox, because I like the fox. Familiar's flourish. When you're familiar by your side, you get charisma to your weapons to hit modifier. I can actually get that out of the Eldritch Knight tree, but I wanted points in this tree, and I'll tell you why. Get some more spell points, but we wanted this. You've got my back. Your familiar draws ambient and offensive magics to it, protecting you from magic missiles as if you had the benefits of the shield spell. In addition, the shield spell now provides +10 physical resistance rating, and the night shield spell now provides +10 magical resistance rating. So this does not stack with the shield that we already have in Eldritch Knight, because this is already shield. But once we have this shield, we can now swap that out for night shield, which you hopefully are seeing down here on my bar. And now I have MRR and PRR covered. So this is basically a clicky that's allowing me, my night shield becomes a clicky, giving me extra MRR and PRR, which is rad because survivability is clutch. It's one of the things that really put me off trying a full caster past heroic level, simply because I'm like, man, these things are going to get taken apart when we get to epic levels. But thanks to Eldritch Knight and thanks to Feydark Illusionist, we have a lot more survivability. And so I'm sitting at 1,479 hit points, 4,620 spell points. My arm class is robust 87, which is not terrible. I have 177% fortification. If I go into my apotheosis, it becomes 277. So fortification, not a problem. This was actually huge for most of my life. Like, just critical hits were just not a thing. Strength 33, nobody cares. Dexterity 26, again, nobody cares. Constitution 44, intelligence 30. Starts with base 14 because I like to have a little bit of intelligence. I like to have skills. Wisdom 20, again, nobody cares. And charisma 61, a nice even 61. For my spells, pretty standard spell selection. I got jump, night shield, shocking bolt. This was actually much better than I thought. That even though the projectile itself travels a little bit slow, it actually did a lot of heavy lifting for me early game. So I was really thrilled to have it. Sonic blast, of course, if you're not taking this as an air savant, you've got bigger problems than I know how to deal with. Electric loop. This is the spell, not the SLA. Again, did a lot of heavy lifting. I did have, I forget what I had in here, maybe blur, and I swapped it out for knock just because there's a lot of locked doors and locked chests, and it drives me bonkers when I can't get them, so I took knock. Resist energy, again, that's clutch, you need to have it. Web, this is your go-to crowd control for a long time, and you want to make sure you can heighten that as soon as possible. Chain missiles, because I really couldn't think of anything else to take at level 3. Displacement, because why not? Lightning Bolt until I had the SLA, and then Magic Circle against Evil. This is great. It's just kind of a blanket protection against domination effects and command, but not greater command, because of course you're immune to all the things that cause knockdown, except for the things that can knock you down. Dimension Door always. Ice Storm, because it's good to have a persistent AoE. Shout is fantastic. I can't remember if this Shout does the stun. I don't think Shout does the stun. Stone Skin, of course, is just more damage reduction. This is where things start to get hot. We got Ball Lightning, which is amazing. Blows up clumps of enemies. Cone of Cold, because you don't really have like a short range AoE, but that kind of fills that gap. Elidar's Electric Surge. This is your boss beater, and then I stack it up with Nyx Biting Cold, because why not? Chain Lightning, the god tier room clearing spell for your electric savant. This is fantastic. This is your first choice when you get level 6 spells. Disintegrate, because I guess there's something maybe somewhere that I could use it on. I don't know. I got nothing. I needed to pick a spell. And then Greater Heroism. Level 6 is not a great level. Greater Heroism is awesome. Hold Person Mass. Got more use out of this than I thought I would. I kind of held my nose up at these spells, not really thinking much of them, but if you've got some DCs, these are great. Just bear in mind that it's only really good on like humanoids, like so player character races. So just kind of bear that in mind. Fortunately, there are lots of humans in the game, so that makes it easy. Autosphere dancing, again, this is clutch crowd control. I had so many guys dancing. This trivialized a lot of quests, especially out in the Stormhorns. You just throw up a dancing ball and everything goes dancing, and then you're just waiting for cooldowns at that point while you blow stuff up. Protection from Elements Mass. Always want more element protection. Arcane Tempest, because Purple Rain. Greater Shout. This is fantastic. It's more shout plus a stun effect. Auto's Irresistible Dance. I took this because I had to pick a spell. Were I to do it over again, I'd probably replace this with Polar Ray, simply because I didn't get any use out of this. I just took it because I was so bitter about being danced all the time by mobs. But you know, again, players don't get really all that much use out of it. If you can, then you're better than I am. Hold Monster Mass just holds more stuff than Hold Person. Thunderstroke, literally the finger of the gods coming down to strike stuff. Fantastic. This is your Reaper Eraser. This is your problem Archer Eraser. This is the thing that fixes all the problems you need to go away yesterday. Fantastic. Love Thunderstroke. And then, of course, Wail of the Banshee, because Wail of the Banshee, right? Again, didn't get a lot of use out of Wail of the Banshee, if I'm being honest. So I could probably replace that with Iceberg and had 2 problem removers. But again, Wail of the Banshee is kind of nice to have, if for no other reason that you can neg a bunch of stuff before you light them up with a Chain Lightning or something. So that's pretty much how the spells played out. As for my feats, my Destiny feats were Elemental Form Specialty. Never taken it, so that's +3 caster levels with so let's just read what it does. It's your elemental forms grant you mastery over the other 3 elements as well. Excluding the element of your current form, you gain the following bonuses to air, earth, fire, and water as long as you are in a sorcerer's elemental apotheosis or druid's elemental wild shape form. +3 caster levels with those elements, so that backfills my weakness with acid. +3 to caster level with those elements. +22 spell power of those elements. +2% spell critical chance with those elements. So that's basically filling up everything else you didn't do. It's one of the reasons I didn't put points into the other Savant, because it actually cripples additional spells. So this way I was like very strong in my main element and pretty good in my secondary, even though I hadn't put any points into it. And that was Ice, in case you were wondering. Epic Spell Power Electricity, because obviously. Epic Spell Power Sonic, because obviously. And then Font of Life, simply because more healing is more. Burst of Glacial Wrath, I took this as an epic feat because I had to pick one and there was nothing else that it really turned me on, so why not? It's just more Cone of Cold, so I'll take that. Intensify Spell. Master of Air, obviously, because you want your Shocking Grass, Electric Hoop, and Lightning Bolt spells gain +10 to the maximum cast level. By the time I got this, my Electric Loop SLA was actually doing more damage than Chain Lightning, because I could maximize and empower, intensify it. So it was kind of ironic to watch it suddenly jump to become my most powerful AoE spell, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm not going to turn my nose up at it, because I just won 2 of them, Electric Loop and Chain Lightning, back and forth. Wellspring of Power gives you +150 universal spell power and +20% spell critical damage for the next 30 seconds. Fantastic. You want this. And then, of course, legendary feat, Scion of the Plane of Air, plus 4 DCs of evocation spells, plus 2 of the DCs of other spells, plus 4% dodge, plus 4% dodge cap, plus 10 electric spell power, plus 30 universal spell power, plus 15% electric spell crit damage, plus 10% universal spell crit damage, and plus 3 imbue dice. Doesn't matter because by the time I got this again, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a melee swing, so it didn't really matter, but it's there if I wanted it, I suppose. My epic past lives, ancient power, brace, colors of the queen, double shot, double strike, energy criticals, which is always on for me, fast healing, which is always on for me, skill mastery, which is always on for me. You can see those over here on my sidebar if you want to squint and lose your eyesight. I'm not gonna worry about my heroic past lives. I am a completionist, so that helps. I have Asimar, Purple Dragon, Razorclaw, and Tiefling Scoundrel, iconic lives. I think only the Tiefling one is what I'm using all the time, and then the action boost from Purple Dragon. So whatever, these are my racial past lives. So Drow, Dwarf, Gnome, Halfling, Tabaxi. This will be my second Tiefling life and Warforged. So that's what I got lining up in there. Special feats, that's just the stuff you buy for remnants. What else did I take here? Most of my things, you do get deflect arrows. That's part of your Eldritch Knight, which is amazing. It sort of mitigates some of those obnoxious archers that you run into all the time. Martial feats, didn't take any. Metamagic feats, empower, heighten, maximize, quicken, the standard array. Let's see, racial feats, it's ancestry. I did take mental toughness. Mobile spell casting you get as part of the Eldritch Knight tree, so I didn't actually take that, but I do have it. And then where is the last one? I thought I took Force of Personality. I guess I didn't. Yeah, there it is, Force of Personality. It's right here, and you get Die Hard also as one of my epic feats. So there's Force of Personality. So that's my last heroic feat. So we have a look over here. This is how my epic destinies panned out. 17 points into Primal Avatar, so I got the first 3 cores. Stormcatcher, Thundersnow, I love both of these. These are great. Stormcatcher is, again, it's sort of like a mini Thunderstroke, so it's a good time. The Bird Friend of the Wind, always Rejuvenation Cocoon. Thrive. This actually caught me off guard. Your Epic Strike in this tree now has a 30% chance to grab Thrive when cast. Thrive, the cost of all spells reduced by 25% enhancement bonus for the next 4 seconds. I used these 2 spells, Thunder Snow and Stormcatcher, all the time, because once you use your Dragon Breath, the Dragon Breath is on a long cooldown, but these 2 will be on a short cooldown, so you can continue spamming those, and then all of a sudden you're getting huge discounts to your spell points, so it really makes it go the distance. That and the fact I've gotten almost like round up to 5,000 spell points, so that helps. And of course, Sky doubles the power of Thunder Snow. Thunder Snow also applies the slow effect of Stormcatcher. I took 3 enchantment DCs in here because I was using my Disco Ball all the time. 41 points spent in Draconic Incarnation, so all the cores. I took Draconic Perception because I like the reflex saves. Attune the Arcane, obviously. Dragon Breath, obviously. Coalescence, you bypass the first 15 points of energy resistance with your spells. +5 spell power for your Draconic Heritage element and +5 universal spell power. That's a very good time. Again, you just want more bypass. +3 breast weapon DCs, and at rank 3 you're immune to fear. I'm already immune to fear as a tiefling, but it's nice to have. So this is good simply because your Dragon Breath does count as a breath weapon attack, obviously, so having more DCs is better. Inevitable, your Attune the Arcane Destiny Mantle now instead applies a damage over time effect that does its full damage 3 additional times after application for a total of 4 ticks of damage beyond the first. So this is basically just repeating your Dragon Breath damage. Daunting Roar applies a fear and or paralyze effect on your breath weapon attack, which is awesome. That procced a lot more than I thought it would. Scales of the Dragon, activate this to shroud yourself in the Scales of a Dragon temporarily. 2 components. First, it absorbs 15 points of ablative damage per character level and ablative in protections. Secondly, it shields you from 50% of the elemental damage of your dragon type. So that's really rad. That's just like better stone skin. Gaping Maw, your Dragon Breath Epic Strike is modified to deal double its damage. Dragon Speed, you return the Arcane Destiny Mantle now grants +10 spell cooldown reduction, the mobile spell casting feat, and +30 enhancement bonus to movement speed. Movement speed doesn't matter because I already got it, but it helps. Pull from the Wellspring. Wellspring of Power's duration is doubled. When you activate it, you gain +10 temporary spell points per character level that lasts for the full double duration, so that's amazing. And then lastly, +3 spell DCs, spread your wings because I wanted to be able to jump around. Dragon form, which is awesome. DR 100, and hit points begin to regenerate at a fast rate. Your spell points 50% cost reduction. Your spells have a chance to turn a non-boss enemy to gold permanently, adding them to your horde with no save. I saw that proc, it's hilarious. And then bring about destruction, +10 spell power of your draconic element, +10 universal spell power. Your Eldar's electric surge, now expanding cold, burning blood, enervation, and venom concentration spells now stack 2 additional times. So if you can just keep stacking them on top of a boss, which is incredible. And lastly, just to round it out, I got 8 points in Unyielding Sentinel. So I've got the first 2 cores, which is Lost Hope. You gain the Die Hard feat, and the ability to, in this tree, grants you 35 hit points and 20 spell points and 5 melee power. And this is warded against curses, whatever the hell that's supposed to do. Divine Energy Resistance. I love having this spell. It allows me to pull all of my energy resistance off of my hotbar so I can see things a lot better. Plus I have 50% fortification from Brace for Impact, and of course Renewal, because this is just more heal, so I can go back and forth between my Rejuvenation Cocoon and Renewal. And that kept me upright. The only times I died, it was like literally my fault. If I saw my bubble of safety come up and I did not heal myself, that was 100% on me, because when you're playing a sorcerer, as always, offense is defense. You want to kill stuff as fast as possible so that you don't have problems with them hitting you. So that's pretty much it. Quick breakdown of my equipment and my epic. This is what I ran from 20 to 30 with. Epic Big Top, Charisma 9, Dodge 9%, Perform 17, and use Magic Device. So that's actually bolstering my Sonic spells, because Perform is the spell power, is the skill that boosts the spell power for Sonic. And I do have a Diamond of Exceptional Charisma slotted into that. Epic Anchor Chain from Saltmarsh. Ice Lore 10, Glaciation, Profane Life Force, Profane Spell Focus. So there's some spell DCs. This is actually not what I used. Up until this, I was using my Epic Voice of the Master. I don't know if I still have it in my inventory here. Looks like no. Looks like I don't. But anyway, afterwards I went and got my Manual of Stealthy Pilfering, which seems like an odd choice, but it does have my Master's Gift slotted. Eldritch Resistance, Good Luck 3, exceptional dexterity skills, exceptional intelligence skills, which includes Spellcraft, which is important. Use Magic Device 5, Open Lock, Disable Device, and Spot. Always nice to have Spot, just because reasons. Doesn't give me a search, ironically. I'm not sure why that is. But in any event, that's what I chose to go with as my trinket. I'm still using the Heroic Scarlet Scale Cloak, mainly because I don't have the Epic Scarlet Scale Cloak. And I forget where this drops. It's from Wavenloft somewhere. I forget which quest specifically. I'll probably add it as a footnote when I edit this. Breath Weapon Focus. So again, that's adding more to my Breath Weapon DCs. Insightful Evocation, which stacks Spell Sight 12 because it's hard to get Spell Sight, ironically. Quality Constitution, Mythic Boost, and Sapphire of Heavy Fortification. My beloved Epic Belt of Thoughtful Remembrance. It is exactly just a bit better than the Bronze Dragon Scale Belt. I do actually have the legendary Bronze Dragon Scale Belt, but I didn't feel like swapping tunes to get it. But this is Deathblock 7, which is 21% enhancement bonus to negative energy absorption, immune to magical effects that cause instant death. Constitution 11, Concentration 20. I didn't have Concentration anywhere else on the build. Resistance 11, which is awesome. Dodge 11, which is awesome, and greater regeneration. And just because reasons, I have a Sapphire of Natural Armor stuck in there. Epic Ethereal Ring, Ghostly Speed 30%, Dodge 9%, Reflex 9, Topaz Virginity 195. It's incorporeal, so I mean it fills my set. Epic Cinder Fingers, Fire Lore, Combustion Evocation. This is where my evocation is coming from. Resistance 8. This is redundant with my other stuff, but until I had that, until I had this, I had a Bronze Dragon Scale Belt, so the resistance was important. Web immunity is more valuable than you think, and I have it slotted with a Sapphire of Healing Amplification plus 37. My beloved Epic Crocodile Skin Boots, Constitution 9, Acid Absorption 27, Cold Absorption 27, Freedom of Movement, and Acidic Reaping, and I have that slotted with a Sapphire of Crushing Wave and a Diamond of Strength 9. This is where my Sonic spell power is coming from. It's my Epic Salt Pearl Ring. Insightful Charisma, which is awesome. Sonic Lore 60%, Resonance 111, Enchantment Focus 4, Sapphire Defense 24, and a Diamond of Charisma 9. So this is like a redundancy, but it's like an all-in-one redundancy that's I had made from my Stormsinger life, which I also loved. Epic Driftwood Bracers, Insightful Wisdom means nothing. Insightful Lore, Devotion, and Wizardry with a Sapphire False Life. This just gives my Rejuvenation, Cocoon, and Renewal a little more oomph. And then lastly, my Epic Privateer, actually I shouldn't say lastly, second to lastly is my Epic Privateer's Leathers. Fortification 111%, Magical Sheltering plus 24, Spell Resistance 28, and Spell Saves 8 with a Sapphire Resistance 8. Again, most of this is redundant, but the Fortification and the Magical Resistance and Spell Saves, those all are all stacking. So that's why I stuck this on, because it's just better. I could have easily swapped this out with something else and not missed much, but whatever. And my Heroic Summoner Spectacles. I do have the legendary ones, but they're on, again, on another tune, and I never really needed them. So that's Conjuration Focus 3 and Insightful Conjuration Focus plus 2, Spell Penetration 4, Quality Mystic Diversion, and Mythic Gog Boost. Has a Master's Gift on it because I stick a Master's Gift on everything I can think of, because I'm forever jockeying stuff around and forget where I actually have my XP bonus. Anyway, and this is solely for the benefit of my web spell, so that it actually sticks some things to the ground. And the last three things, I guess, would be my Quiver of Alacrity, which is striding 30% and ranged alacrity 10%, and I put that on at level 1 and take it off never. My beloved, I've got a lot of beloved items. This is one of my favorites. It's the Epic Immaculate Globe, because God is in the details. Plus 6 orb bonus, meh. But here's the thing. Permanent efficacy. Plus 20 alchemical bonus to each spell power. So every spell power is going to a stacking plus 20 alchemical bonus. That's gold. You can't really replace that anywhere else. So I use this constantly. Superior stability. I am neutral, but that's nothing. Everything else is giving me better bonuses somewhere else. Elemental resistance 30. You must impervious to most elemental damage, gaining a plus 30 enhancement bonus to acid, cold, electricity, fire, and sonic resistance. So that's basically blanket elemental resistance on one slot at level 20 for 30. The only other place to get that is a Draconic Soul Gem, which you don't get until level 25, assuming you even have one. And lastly, Spell Penetration 6, because more is more. Just an amazing item all around, and it counts as part of the Saltmarsh Explorer. So it's like a backup in case like you want to move gear around. As long as you're still holding this orb in your hand, it still counts as a piece, which is amazing. And lastly, a Borderlands Scepter, an Epic Scepter of Magnetism. This is plus 6 enhancement, lightning lore 16%, magnetism 111, insightful magnetism 55, insightful wizardry 97. There just simply isn't a better caster stick in the game. These are the Borderlands sticks are it, which is kind of a problem in and of itself, but they are fantastic. I didn't figure out until way too late, like level 32, that I could make this thing sentient, and that I would get a massive bonus by making it an electrocution set. So anyway, after the fact, I made it sentient. I fed it a bunch of the trash I'd picked up, and I did get at least enough for a 2-piece set, which gives me plus 50 electric spell power. So that's just stacking plus 50 more spell power that I could have just had and didn't, because I'm a genius. But that would be my recommendation, especially if you're going to play a sorcerer like this, is to get the appropriate element from the Borderlands, make it sentient, get the appropriate element stacking into it because it's free. It is a little more front-loaded for electric. The other ones you have to have, like, it's like three pieces in before you tend to start seeing the bonus, but electric is like right away at 2 pieces. So I just jumped on that while I could, but that's fantastic. And I will just fill this out eventually to get the last of the spell powers in. And that's pretty much it. I, of course, am always wearing my Cosmetic Epic Elemental Victory. The cosmetic robe I'm wearing is the Energized Temple robe. That's actually the old one. Looks the same as the new one, but I liked it. I do have the robe of Dissonance, but it clipped through my hair and it was making me anxious, so I just went with it. And the House Orient cloak, because it matched my color scheme that I was going with this particular life. Anyway, because I was going with this whole purple and gold thing, right? So anyway, now you can have a look at the outfit again one more time. And that's pretty much it. As for gameplay, it's a Sorc. Offense is defense, blast early, blast often. My rotation on the bottom looks like this. I've got SLA Electric Loop, I've got Chain Lightning, Ball Lightning, Dragon Breath, Shout, Greater Shout, Thunder Snow, Thunderstroke, and then my last two are my action boosts, Wellspring of Power, my Reaper boost up here, and then on top, a Stormcatcher right above my Thunderstroke because I consider them kind of the same thing. My SLA Lightning Bolt, Sonic Blast, Glacier Wrath, Cone of Cold, Ice Storm, Shocking Bolt, Irresistible Dance. Never got any use out of that. Would probably replace that with Polar Ray. And then up at the top are the things that would be more situational. So like Arcane Tempest, Will of the Banshee, Displacement. Kind of had those all out of the way. And then all of my active stances are just kind of on the sidebars over here. A smarter person than me who makes better use of things. I know that you can get your spell powers, your meta magics to a point where you can be like free. You can have free maximize effectively, but to me, you burn too many points trying to get those points down because you've got to take them in 2 separate trees. And I mean, it can be done, but it takes a lot of work. And if you've got more destiny points, you can certainly make it work. But I don't have that many. I think I've only got like 60 odd destiny points here. Yeah, 66. Nice, almost nice. So that's about it. So yeah, just run into a room, blow stuff up, continue going, throw heals as necessary. Some honorable mentions here that you might not have considered. I don't know that I still have them on my thing. I had a keylock ring that I keep around, my Slave Lord's trinket. I always love early. One thing you do want to pick up if you can get it. Let's see if I can find it. There's a necklace of bottle sunlight, which is amazing, but I think it's, I don't know if I put it back in the bank. Necklace of the Sea. Yeah, I did. Here, let's see if I can find it in the bank here. All right, yeah. These come out of the Isle of Dread. So if you have the Isle of Dread, you're going to want to go ahead and grab these. And that is Pendant of the Sea, Insightful Spell Focus Mastery 1, Insightful Resonance, Insightful Glaciation, Insightful Magnetism. It's like custom made for an Air Savant / Storm Singer. This is like the hotness. I had this on like, well, I think I had it on until like literally until level 20, and I could swap it out because those insightful spell powers just don't occur anywhere else unless you're really lucky in the Morgrave University quests and Lord's March, which I was not. I burned a lot of shards and didn't get any of the caster sticks I was looking for. I kept getting the wrong caster stick. I do have the magnetism, I got the resonation one, and I've got the glaciation one, but I could not for love nor money pull the magnetism one. That was really frustrating. Shaman's Band and the Shaman's Beads. Easy to overlook. These drop in red fans. They're old items, but if you put them together, it's a +2 artifact bonus to fire, cold, electric, and acid spell crit chance, and a +10 artifact bonus to fire, cold, electric, and acid spell power. So that's quite a boost. As well as at level 7, that's Charisma 5 and Evocation 2. So these are 2 good little items that are easy to kind of forget because they're so old. And the epic ones, I tried really hard to figure out a way to work the epic ones in. I couldn't do it, but that's not to say it can't be done. Also, I did have my Arc Steel Battle Mage set. Because you get proficiency with medium armor, you can now use this. And that's because it gives you +25 artifact bonus to electric, fire, force, and repair spell power. Force and repair don't really matter that much. A lot of people use fire as a secondary with electric, so that's good, but it's that 25 artifact bonus like basically doesn't exist anywhere else. Plus 5% artifact bonus to electric, fire, force, and repairs crit chance, +2 artifact bonus to intelligence. Doesn't help you all that much, but it does improve your spellcraft, and a +1 artifact bonus to spell DCs. And these are just good items in their own right. The I used the Attunement Gauntlets, which is Magnetism 94, Lightning Lore 14, Evocation 3, Quick Draw, Mythic Hands. And the Mark IV is obviously just the standard item: Fortification, Physical Sheltering 19, Pulse Life 29, Mythic Boost 4 with a Sapphire Resistance 5. I used those for quite a while. I did have the Scald Ring in my set for a little while just because it filled out my adherence, because what I did was I had the Arc Steel set plus the adherence of the Mist set. So that's kind of thing. Also, Eyes of Howling Hatred are easy to overlook. These drop now in the Temple of Elemental Evil. And these can kind of backfill you a little bit because they are Lightning Lore, Insightful Spell Sight, Wizardry, and Spell Saves. And then if you've, and I finally pulled a Bolt Sphere this life, this actually gives you Magnetism, Insightful Magnetism, but it doesn't give you Lore. So you can actually team Eyes of Howling Hatred up with your Bolt Sphere, and you can actually get the lore you're missing. And I also had the Robes of Howling Hatred, which are okay. If you want, they will give you the Temple's Tempest set. +5 artifact bonus to melee and range power, +10 artifact bonus to electric power, spell power, or not artifact bonus to magical resistance rating, +10. So that's not that bad. The magic conch, this drops in the Isle of Dread pre-quest. I forget what it's called. But that's soundproof, sonic lore 9, resonance 63, sonic resistance 15 at level 6, which makes it pretty rad. Nicked Orb is a great low-level item if you can find it. Orb of Golden Death is in Spiteful Spell Lore. All of your spells receive a +2% insight bonus to their chance of critical hit. That's pretty huge. I actually used this for quite a bit longer than I thought I would. So that's something to keep in mind when you're doing this, but definitely go out and farm your Isle of Dread to get your Signet Ring of the Sea, which is Resonance, Glaciation, Magnetism, and that teams up with your Pendants of the Sea, which is Insightful Resonance, Glaciation, and Magnetism, and make sure you've got those. Otherwise, most of this stuff is pretty straightforward. It's the Barovian set, the Thrumming Spark Cord, Beacon of Magic. I actually was wearing robes right up until level 15 when I switched to the Arcsteel Battle Mage set. So that's just something to keep in mind, because again, the Eldritch Knight is backstopping a lot of your resistance. So up until then, you can kind of get away with it, and afterwards it doesn't matter. Then you've got your level 12, you've got your full Eldritch Knight stance, and you're pretty much good to go. But even then, it was Arcsteel Battle Mage plus adherence until I hit cap, and then it was swapped basically over to a Salt March set, and I just rode that like a rented mule until level 30. So that is pretty much everything, I guess. Once again, it's a sorcerer, so there's not a whole lot to discuss. It's blast early, blast often. If something stands back up, you blast it again. It's really fun. I enjoyed this immensely. It was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I completely understand why people really love Sorc to run their past lives, because man, you can clear a lot of real estate very quickly when you're wiping out entire rooms in one shot. That's a very good time. So 9 out of 10 would bang again, and I intend to, but for right now, I am done with this. I'm going to clear out my cache and get prepped to TR, and I will be back again in the morning, whenever you're watching this, that's sometime in the future, to do my next Tiefling past life. As always, you are welcome to come and watch me and laugh at my expense at, I was going to say beastguitargaming.com, but it is at twitch.com/beastguitargaming. There we go. And I knew I'd get it out eventually, but I am going to leave it there. Thank everybody for watching. I hope you find some value in my little presentation here, and I will talk to everyone again soon. So take care.